Don't get me wrong, I love building with a lot of packs in The Sims 4, but that doesn't mean you can't build some amazing houses using only The Sims 4 base game. And the best part, base game is free. Look at all of these amazing base game only homes on the gallery. I mean, these are insane. Look at this tiki bar. I remember downloading this in 2014 actually. This manor is crazy. So today I want to show you how I would use base game only to build a couple different styled homes in The Sims 4. We'll start by building a classic, traditional inspired home that we more commonly see with base game, but then I'll show you something completely different with the house in a more modern and fun aesthetic. And along the way, I'll give you some tips on how to enhance your base game building experience. First, I think I want to build a fancy family home. We'll do 2 floors, and I think I'll start by building a couple bump outs like this. I'll bring them up to the 2nd floor, and you know what? Let's bring these to the back as well. I'm also going to build a side bit here. This could be a greenhouse because this year base game got that glass wallpaper update, and I think they look really pretty. So we're gonna use that on this side. This can be a little greenhouse. We can add some roofing over top of it. We'll raise this up on a foundation, and we may as well just roof the rest of it. So we're gonna get a gabled roof. I'm gonna curve it out, and then we're gonna bring in the adjusters. Since we have the same thing going on in the back, we can pull that all the way across and just copy it for all of those bump outs. And then for the top part, we're just gonna use a gabled roof piece, and we're gonna cover the rest of this rectangle. We're going to lower that down, and I think I'll curve it out a little bit. And we'll just copy that roofing that we just made and put it on this side part. I wanted to start out with this like fancier look because across all of the Sims franchises like The Sims 1, 2, and 3, I feel like their go-to with a lot of the base game furniture has been this like vintage, almost like classic sort of style. I'm gonna use this fence to bring it out and build a deck. I'll add some stone flooring, and then I'm thinking we change up this front part by adding some columns. Then we could add a spandrel at the front. We're definitely going to add some trim for this one. I actually quite like the base game trims. I feel like I use this one especially a lot. It's kind of chunky and I like that. I'm gonna also add these columns on the sides, and then for the front door I'm thinking about using this one just to keep with that arched look. We need flower boxes, obviously. We can add some different windows along the side, and then we'll build out a spot for a big chimney over to the side. Okay, so far this is what we got. I do like this. Well, what if we added a little more dimension? The black and white is cute, but what if we make it look a little more cozy with some brown brick? Let's see how it looks over all of it. Obviously, other than the glass part. See, that does look cute. Something about this house so far reminds me of a Christmas movie house. I don't know, what do you guys think? All brick or all white? Or we do a happy medium and we go half and half. Okay, that's nice. Let's run with this. I'm gonna add some lighting. Some of these base game lights are massive, but I kind of don't mind. At least at the front, I feel like they can be a little bit bigger, and then I might shrink them if I put them up top. Like I'll add some above the windows, but I'll shrink them down a size. Oh, we could maybe hang a chandelier at the door. I'll add some benches on the front patio. I'll add some flower boxes, and I feel like we should fence this one in. So for now, I'm gonna use this base game fence, but I think I'll bring it to like here. I'll do the same thing on both sides, and then we'll switch it up. We'll do like 2 different styles of fences. This one to me just screams backyard fence. So for that one, we're gonna bring this all the way along the backyard. Then we can add a gate onto it. I'm gonna add 2 different gates at the front like this. Love it. And then ever since I mentioned the Christmas theme, I feel like we need some pine trees. And also we have these festive hedges. I'm pretty sure these were unlocked during one of the events. I guess that is kind of a nice thing about base game too, is like they have daily events often in The Sims 4 and you can unlock like base game things. At first I wasn't a fan of the whole thing, but now that some time has passed and there's been quite a few events, the items have added up. I have a lot of items that I've claimed just from doing events. So I'm gonna finish up the landscaping on this one and then we'll move on to the interior. Okay, so here is house number 1. I think this is adorable. I really like the landscaping that I went with. I added a little stone path leading to the backyard, and wait until you see the backyard on this one. I feel like it turned out so nice back here. I added this back gate feature. Don't have fairy lights in base game, but we do have these super cute little starlights. I didn't want to put them around the entire thing. I thought that would be a little much. So I separated that area with this hedge and I just stacked like 2 on top of each other. I love that little feature. But then in the back, the pergolas are base game. So we have a small dining table back here. I added a barbecue. We've got a chess table back here. I also added a couple gardening pots, and there's just a couch on there for extra seating. Look how pretty it is lit up at night with those festive hedges. So cute so far, but let's go inside. So far for the layout, I've added my stairs over in this corner. It's actually where the chimney is supposed to be, but I've just tucked it away in there. Then we can do a bathroom on this side. This is gonna be like maybe just a small seating area. It's right by the front door. Then we could separate this this off to make a kitchen, and then I can leave this part open for the living room. And then coming upstairs, we have this whole floor open now for bedrooms. I feel like that's the nice part about having the stairs tucked over to the side. So we could do 2 bedrooms right there. We can do a bathroom at the end of the hall, and maybe we just leave this part open. Then downstairs could be more of like a formal living room, and then this room can have the TV. It can be more of like a family room. So I'm gonna start by using this base game flooring. This is my favorite wood option we have. And then our aesthetic on the interior has to be the same. So I think I'm gonna use this wallpaper, and I'll use similar wallpapers in like the kitchen, but we could do a tiled flooring. I'll just use some stone for the greenhouse. And then on this wall, I can just use the same brick wallpaper that I used outside. I wonder how that stone would look in the bathroom. Let's just try it. I'm gonna start with the living room on this one. First of all, I'm placing this fireplace. I really like the swatches on this fireplace. Like that dark red is so pretty. Or this one even with the gold accent. I feel like this one matches pretty well. I think I want this family home to maybe give a little bit of old money. Like they've got some fancy furniture, some fancy art on the walls. This is the aesthetic I was talking about earlier with like the classic vintage fancy base game aesthetic. Like when I think base game, I think this. That's why I wanted to sort of start out with this aesthetic and go from there. We could add the gramophone. This could be the perfect room in the back for a bookshelf. I'll just add a chair in there, a little lamp, a little plant, and a rug. I've got a space here, so I'm just gonna add an easel. We can add this mirror by the front door, and I'm also gonna add some family photos over here. Okay, so we have the classic living room, very traditional looking. No TV in here, so you're probably just sitting, having conversation, sitting by the fire. You could grab a book from the reading room. Let's move on to the kitchen next. These counters have not been with the Sims 4 base game the entire time. I feel like we got an update on these like maybe a couple years ago, but I love them. I feel like they're the perfect counter. How should we lay this out? I do need to include a dining table somewhere, and we've got the door to the greenhouse right there, so we can't cover that. I'm gonna try and squeeze the table over to this side. We do have these pedestals, and I actually really like using these. They look cute when you add like plants on them or statues. I like adding a little clutter on my dining table, so I'll add that notepad. So that can be our dining room. And actually, okay, for our kitchen, we can lay it out like this. We can have a fridge on that side. I can add my oven over here. We'll do a sink on the end, and there are matching cabinets, but I think I'm just gonna keep them to one side just so it doesn't get too busy looking. Instead, I'm adding some shelving, and I can raise a little bit of clutter up on there so we don't have to put it on the countertop. One thing I always forget to add lately is the burglar alarm. We went for so long without burglars in The Sims 4, so I just always forget, but my Sims are just gonna be getting robbed left and right. So I added that, and we're pretty much all set for the kitchen in here. They have everything they need. I added a little trash can right there. And then going into the greenhouse, I did add some of those planters outside. I want to add a couple of those in here, although they're a little bit big. So instead we could add some of the smaller ones from base game. I'll lay them out like this. I have such a habit of telling you where like the items come from. I'm like, yeah, this is from base game. It's a base game video. You know this already. I will add a woodworking table out here though. And then of course we have to fill the rest of it in with plants. Even though these weren't actually grown in the greenhouse, we can make it look like they were. Same as in the back here, we can have a couple plants that we are actually growing, but the rest of them are going to be fake. I like that it's close to the kitchen too if we wanted to grow like herbs or something. And there is our greenhouse area all complete. We're almost done on the bottom floor. We just have to go into a bathroom next. And this is a pretty big room. I'm going to add a shower here, but then I've added these cabinets over to this side. We could have a mirror on this wall. This is where I can put my sink. And then I added this smaller counter here too, which we could add clutter on there, like towels or something. And then on this side, we could add a bathtub. Our toilet can go right here. We could also add this ottoman with other bathroom essentials on there. And there we go. We've got a nice bathroom in here. I think the one upstairs is maybe a little bit smaller, so it's nice that we were able to fit everything in this one. Bathtub, shower, sink, they got it all. Let's go upstairs and do some bedrooms next. For the parent bedroom, I'm going to keep with the same style we've been using, except I might go even a little bit more moody with it. One thing I will say is the base game curtains suck. I feel like it's really hard to find a nice shade for them. These ones aren't too bad. How would it look if we did 3 mirrors like this beside the bed? I actually like how that looks. At the end of the bed, we can add an ottoman. At the end here, I could add a dark dresser. And then on top of there, we could add a TV. In this corner, I'm gonna have a chair facing the TV. We need some pictures on the wall. And then we also have the pillows. I should place some of these on the ottoman here. All right, there we go. This is our parent bedroom. I like the moodiness of this one because it does still feel cozy in here. It's not too much. We've got like the pillows, the seating, the really comfy bed. Let's go do the kids room next. So I actually think the kids stuff in base game is pretty cute. Like the cloud mirror. This dresser is a go-to. Oh, I like this one too. You can stack toys on there. This is an adorable new nightlight we got. When I'm filming this is from the most recent event, like the Forever Friends one. Super cute. I love this little guy. And he wards off monsters under the bed, which is great. Those are so annoying. I can move this into the corner so I have room to add a bear. And then in here we can add a toy box. We can add some of the pictures. Maybe we have like a bit of a space theme going on. We could add some cloud lights with some of the cute starlights in here too. We can add the violin. Oh, I'm gonna add the space mobile. And I need something tall for this corner, so I'm gonna add the giraffe. I'll add a little stand-up mirror, a clock on the wall, and there we go. We've got a cute little kids room. I love the starlights up here. I feel like the lighting it gives off is just so nice. They've got the mobile, they got the cloud lights to look at. And next I think I'm gonna move on to the family room. And for this room with the furniture, I think I want to go a little more modern, maybe just a little more relaxed than we've been going for like the downstairs. Like for this, I'm gonna change it up with the couch. We can have some pillows on here that match the chairs. We could have some more kids toys in here. I'll add the dollhouse in the corner. We don't actually have a computer yet, so I'm just gonna add one right here. Near the dollhouse, I'm gonna add a crafting table for the kid. Before I finish this one up, I want to quickly show you another tip. If you've been around my channel for a long time, you probably know this already, but when you come onto the gallery, you can search up art. If you set the category over to rooms, and in this case, I'm gonna have show base game only, then you have tons of different options of art that'll pop up that do not require any packs. There are really so many options on here, like those kids room stuff. So far this is the hallway that I did. It's alright, but I'm already finding myself having to reuse art from base game. So when we go into the next house, I'm gonna be downloading a lot of that art. But for now, this is more of the relaxed family room. I also finished off the second bathroom in this house. They have a shower. They've got a toilet and a hamper over there. But that has been the first house in like a classic base game aesthetic. Let's move on from this one and go and do something completely different. What if we build it right across the street so we can see the contrast? So I'm gonna build here on this lot. It's a little bit of a smaller lot, but that's okay. So for this one so far, this is how I've built my shell. And for this house, I want to go a little more colorful with it. It'll be a lot less traditional and serious than the other house we did. So I'm gonna pull this roofing across. This is gonna be for our porch. I just used a half-hipped roof for that. I'm gonna do the same thing at the front. Then up top, we'll use a gabled roof piece and pull that back. I'm adding the same gabled roof piece up top, and we'll raise this up on a foundation. I'm gonna add some columns outside like this. I'll add some spandrels, and then our stairs can go at the front like this. I really like those columns. I feel like those are some of the ones we got in recent years. And I think we should even go colorful with the outside. Like what if we did pink? Or we could try going for this brown, but we do colorful windows. Maybe even colorful roofing. The blue is kind of cute. Like we try something like this with these windows. This can be my front door. I am definitely still adding window boxes on this one. And by the way, I am gonna put both of these on the gallery. So you can download these. You won't need any packs, obviously. But if you haven't gotten some of the event items, those won't show up. So for like those sparkly hedges across the street, if you don't have those, you'll just have to replace them with regular hedges. Like there shouldn't be that much missing anyway. I did really like having the lot fenced in on the other one, so we'll do that on this one too, and I'll still make a little back porch. I'm just working on some of the outdoor decor, and how cute are these pillows? They come in different fun swatches. I'm definitely going to use these inside. These are also from that Forever Friends event, and they're actually different on either side, so you can like switch them around. Those are so cute. When you are building a base game, it can also be really helpful to use debug. So to open up the debug menu, all you have to do is type in bb.show hidden objects and bb.show live edit objects. You can type those into the cheat bar by pressing Ctrl-Shift-C. You just press enter and then close that. And then down in the actual search bar, you can go in and search up debug. You have to actually press one of the options in the menu here instead of just searching it. I don't know why it's like that, but then you can open up the debug menu and there's even more options to choose from. A lot of this stuff is not functional, but when you're placing decor, it doesn't really matter because the plants in this game, at least in base game, aren't functional anyway. If you have the patience for it, it can be really fun to go through here. Sometimes I feel like going through the debug menu though feels like thrifting. Like you have to be in the mood to like pick through things, but a good find can be worth it. Okay, so this is our second house. This one has a little more of like a suburban style to it. And actually I feel like it fits in on this street in Willow Creek quite well. Like that's the pancakes house right beside it. I did keep the starlight feature over to the side. I thought that was really adorable on the other house, so I brought it here. I also added a big pink willow tree in the back because we are in Willow Creek, and actually the back backyard here turned out really cute too. Like it is smaller, but there's that telescope right here, the seating spot for that, and then I added a fountain in the background too. I like that the garden is really colorful and pretty back here. So for this one, the layout is going to be a little more open concept than the last house. We'll have our kitchen and dining at the front, and then over to the side will be the living room. This is just going to be like a mudroom in the back, and then upstairs we're going to have 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom. Of course, my gallery is giving me a hard time today and not loading as much content on here as it should be, but this is one of my favorite gallery pages to find art on. It doesn't use items from any packs, you don't need custom content, so all you have to do is place the room like this, find some space to put it on your lot, and then you're free to use these pictures. So I downloaded some of these first because I want to pick the color scheme from them. I'm going to download as many that are similar to the color palette that I picked. Hey, these people found this creator from me. I used to use Holy Schmo Wow on the gallery all the time in my videos. It has been a while since I used it because I feel like I used everything that they uploaded, but that's really cool. And also I'm running out of space for where to put these, so I'm gonna just stick them in the basement for now, and I'll just move them up onto this wall. So now we have like a stash to pick from. I want to try and find a paint color that matches that. This one's pretty good. I'll add some curtains on my windows, and I haven't decided if I'm actually gonna keep those that big or if we'll change it up. But for now, I am gonna grab a couch. We'll add the matching chairs. I do want to add a fireplace in here, but then my TV might be too high above it, and that's just a problem. So instead, we could even do like a dining room fireplace, and we could add this cute picture above it, or we could also add a mirror. We could even use that trick we used above the bed in the other house above the fireplace. I know we were just working on the living room, and I will go back, but for now I'm gonna finish up the dining room. I'm gonna match these chairs to that art because those 2 pictures match. And again, you can even frame these if you want to. You can find a picture that fits perfectly. That one's not too bad. This one can work too if you want something bulkier. This way we can have our framed couple picture by the door. I'll add a phone. I do not want to forget about my burglar alarm. Oh, I also found this quilt stand, which is really cute and also matches my pictures. Maybe I'll put that in the background like this. We'll add a funky lamp. We can still add a bookshelf on this wall. I need a rug for my living room. I guess we could use this pale pink one. And then we also need a coffee table. You can really make it fancy by adding these lights over top of your artwork. I feel like this is a trend in real life I've seen people do a lot lately. It just makes your art seem more important. Okay, so far so good. This is looking like the cutest little living room. I ended up bringing in those pillows that I used outside. I love the color scheme in here. That's also a good design tip if you're stuck on the color palette. Pick your art or a rug first. Okay, I'm gonna swing around and do the kitchen. That's gonna kind of go right here. I'm planning on using the same counters that I used. We can add a fridge right here. This might be a little bit of a smaller kitchen unless we added an extra counter piece right here. This is not gonna be an island because we don't really have the room for that. It'll just be an extra place for prep. Oh, I forgot this critter light was base game too. I totally thought that this was from Growing Together. Oh, we should have added this into the kids' room. I might have to go back and do it. I'm gonna add a trash can right here, and then we have our kitchen. I guess I realistically could have turned this back here into a kitchen. So you know what? Instead, I'm just gonna turn it into a paint room. This can be why this house is so unique from the other base game homes. They are an artist. Maybe they've painted all of the artwork in here. We can add some of the canvases in the corner, and I can still add a hat and a coat by the door. So there we go, just a cute little painting room. I love this so far. This is adorable. The difference that art can make. Okay, let's move on from here. Let's go do some bedrooms. I'm gonna actually temporarily take this picture with me, and I'll use this to find other colors that match this as well. Like this one's not bad. I wish this one was a little more muted. Okay, here we go. Let's try this instead. Thank you for your service. In this pink room, we can use those other paintings I downloaded, and then we can also use this one because this one matches too. And then for the bed, I'd love to somehow keep to the same colors. Like a dark blue bed could be pretty. That is another thing I will say, we need better base game beds, but I think this will be okay. We can add a blue rug underneath. We can try this one, and I changed the lighting a little bit. Then the dresser can go here. We can try and match the photos a little better by adding pillows. That way we can customize the bed color scheme a little bit more. I'll add a mirror in the corner. We could also add some speakers in this room, some other hobby items like a guitar or a camera even. I think I'll add some comfy chairs, and actually I'll put those over in the corner so that I can add a desk right here. Then we can have a computer, and you know what? I'm giving them the cozy lamp. I don't care. And the starlights. I feel like this room might be giving like teen, but maybe a little bit of a younger teen. Okay, so this is our first bedroom. This is so cute. It looks so pretty with all of the pictures on the wall. Let's move on from here and go and do the parent bedroom. For this one, I might actually use the same bed in orange. We're gonna hopefully end up with like a peachy look in this room. And I might go with this rug again just because the other pattern ones are a little much with this bed. I use this dresser again. I moved this against the wall so I have a little more room. That way the dresser can go over here, and we can also add a little seating area for this sim. Okay, so this is what I did for the parent bedroom. I added some shelving. There's a bookshelf on there and some other clutter. I also went ahead and finished up the hallway over to this side. I added another easel and also a small office space for the family. And then I just added a small bathroom off to the side. They've got the bathtub and shower combo, so they'll be good there. And there we go. That has been us building two completely different homes with base game only in The Sims 4. Let me know which one you guys like better. I feel like for me, the interior of this one obviously is my favorite. The exterior turned out so cute too, but there is still something really charming about this house as well. Let me know which one you guys like the best. I'm gonna upload both of these on the gallery right when I post this video. You can find my gallery ID by searching this on screen. And if you guys like the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.